Hello, and welcome back to Pod Popper's Place and another Stick It Down challenge. This month, I loved this simple yet beautiful design, and I loved it so much that I made 4 different cards. So I'm going to start out with this sparkly one that I thought would be fun for a happy anniversary or a happy birthday card. I use 5 different types of glitter paper along with some heavy-duty printed cardstock with this diamond pattern on it and a silver metallic to use for both the letters that I'm going to use cutting out these dies and also for the background frame. And the glitter paper, actually I kind of misspoke. 4 of them are glitter paper, and one, the silver, is actually some leftover glitter Cricut vinyl I had, and it's just a scrap, so it really wouldn't do much good for me to use it as a vinyl project, but it worked great for me to add to this card as my 5th strip, and I cut those to about 1/8 of an inch for each strip, and they are longer than the paper because as I put this together, it makes it easier to have them longer so that I don't have to worry about getting it perfectly edge to edge. And I use my T-ruler and I tape this down so that I can have a good strong edge to line up these strips of paper against and not worry about anything moving around. The reason I love this pattern sketch so much is that it can be so many different types of cards, and it could be so many variations of colors. It has 5 strips, and I do some of my variations with less than 5 strips and with wider strips than the 1/8 of an inch here that I did. And there is no guidelines on the sketch card about how wide or thin they need to be, so that is completely up to you. But I just love that I can make this any color. This could be a very masculine one if you wanted to use maybe some dark greens and blues or browns. It could be more fall with some browns and orange and yellow tones, or more spring with some more pastel colors. So it's just such a easy card to make into whatever you want it to be for. The biggest problem to solve for this card is deciding which way you want the colors to line up. I took a long time mixing and matching and trying to figure out which order I liked the colors in the most. And I think I kind of jumbled them up a little bit as I'm putting this together, but it still turns out beautiful. I've titled this video as my literal interpretation for the card sketch. However, it could be the creative one as well. I do use 5 strips as shown in the sketch, and I do make them thinner than my more creative interpretation, but I do make this an A2 size card here where my creative interpretation actually has a slimline design, and when you look at the sketch it does look more of a slimline card size. So even though I've labeled this my literal interpretation, it really could go either way. Now that I have my strips laid down, I can easily open this up and cut the ends off, and my strips are perfectly aligned with the ends of each of my card. Once again, I lay down my T-ruler with some washi tape and so I can line up my letters well so that they'll be straight. Doing this sideways, I had to kind of look at it and make sure that everything was laying down straight because sideways just doesn't look the same as up and down. But because I'm laying this on some glitter paper and it's got the double-sided adhesive, it sticks well, but not so well that I can't move it a little bit if I need to adjust the letters. The hardest thing to be aware of when you're using a T-ruler is that your longer letters like the P and Y will typically go underneath the ruler, so you have to kind of allow for that to be able to move that freely around. The last thing I do to my card is add some sequins as shown in the sketch, and I tried to place them pretty much the same way they were done in the sketch on this particular card. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and you will see at the very end of the video my 2 other cards that I made right after this using the same sketch with just a little bit of variations in some of the width and some of the number of stripes that I used. So let me know which is your favorite, and also be looking for my creative interpretation of this card as well. Please join in at the blog Stick It Down Challenge, and all that information will be in the description box below. Stick It Down is a free monthly challenge, and we would love for you to join us. I would love it also if you would subscribe and like my video, and come again next month to see what else I've created for the Stick It Down Challenge in February. Bye-bye.